Hi everyone, Bobby here. In this lesson we're going to look at a blues fusion inspired 12-bar solo. Going to be playing twice around the 12-bar progression in the key of C. And before you comment saying,
"That's not blues,"
or
"That's not fusion,"
bear in mind that the term blues fusion is a very general term. What I mean by that is we're playing over a traditional 12-bar blues in the key of C. We're using traditional blues approaches like call and response, leaving space, but we will be playing into the changes a lot more. We will be using some chromatic passing tones, some kind of bebop inspired chromatic enclosures. There's also some diminished half whole licks in there. There's also a fast legato lick towards the end of the solo that you won't encounter in regular blues. Now, tab will be available for this whole solo, including the backing track and the Guitar Pro 8 file. And if you enjoy this content, then please hit like and subscribe, and that will really help to grow the channel. I will put a link for the downloads in the description below.
Hurry up and teach us the solo.
Now, before we approach the solo, it's important to know what we're playing over. So this is a traditional kind of 12-bar blues, but it's a funk blues. Our one chord is based around C7. We're playing this kind of riff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 4, 1. For 4 bars, and then that's F7, 2 bars. Back to C7, G7, F7, then C7. Then we just hit the 5 chord, which is G7 on the last bar. So that's pretty much, what we're soloing over. And we go 12 times? 2 times around the 12-bar progression. I'm going to play this mostly with a clean sound, but we kind of lead into the solo. 1, 2, 3. So what I'm doing there, this will be tabbed out, so I'm not going to go through, fret by fret. I'm just going to play the licks at normal tempo and slowly. But we've got some chord tones in there, so we're playing into the flat 3 into the major 3rd, the major 6th there, and then we're bending it up half a step to target or to play the flat 7 of the chord. Then we've got that little bit of slidey vibrato, and then finish it on the flat 7. 2, 3, and then with the next lick with a little bit of kind of call and response. We kind of start with a similar lick. So, but then we slide up to the root note and hit that major 3rd again. And then we play the first of our diminished lines. Now this is a diminished dominant, or the dominant diminished scale, or the diminished half whole scale in the key of C. Kind of beyond the remit of this lesson to go into depth with the diminished half whole scale, but just know that it's a symmetrical scale made up of intervals of semitones and tones. So I'll just show you the lick. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what we've got here, we're playing this line here, and a lot of this tonality is in the traditional kind of blues, dominant tonality anyway, going from the major 3rd to the 5th, the flat 7. We've just got a flat 9 there. That's the only note that's kind of from outside of the blues tonality. But with a lot of diminished half whole licks, you can play the same lick and move it up or down in intervals of minor thirds, so by 3 fret intervals, which is really, really nice to go. So I play the same line. There's a bit of rhythmic displacement there, but I play the same line 3 frets higher, and it kind of takes it outside, you know. It puts a little coat on it and just takes it outside. And then at that point, I'm approaching the 4 chord, and I'm targeting the 5th of the 4 chord, which is C. And if we take this as the next lick, I know some of these licks are kind of overlapping, but it will make sense. In the tab, I will just notate the solos and just kind of put little markers to where I think kind of constitutes a new lick. That's the next line. Traditional kind of minor pentatonic, C minor pentatonic line. Landing on the 8th fret on the G, which is the flat 7 of the 4 chord. And then we go into this kind of bebop line. So we go. So we've got this bebop enclosure, kind of based around the F7 chord. There's a lot of chromaticism there, landing on the flat 7 again. And then we're landing on the, we go back to the 1 chord at that point, so we're hitting with this double stop, we're hitting the major 3rd and the 5th of that chord. And then next lick. So 1, 2, 3. So we're playing this, a little bit of string skipping, I guess. That's just 3 notes in that line. But we're landing on this G, which is the root of our 5 chord. It's the first time we reached the 5 chord. And it's a little bit clumsy what I played there. I actually switch fingers at that point to go into this next line. If you saw my video about tasteful sweep arpeggios, you'll see that this is a G7 arpeggio. And then I kind of approach the major 3rd there. So that's the 5 chord covered, just chord tones really. And then what's good for the 5 chord is going to be good for the 4 chord when you're really playing into the changes. So I kind of continue in with a theme. I play a similar line. This is the next lick. I play a similar line over the 4 chord. Pretty much the same. Apart from that little, you know, kind of twist on the end. And with this part, just back to traditional kind of blues tonality in C. I've got the 9 in there, and the flat 3, and the root, and the flat 7. And then at that point in the progression, we've hit the 1 chord again. So we go. So we call that the next lick. So 3, 4, and. All just C minor pentatonic. But that kind of surprise semitone bend at the end is, I'm bending up a half step. I'm bending into the major 3rd of the 5 chord. So, you know, some chord tone stuff going on there. Incidentally, in order to kind of make sense of this lesson, I encourage you to listen to that intro solo a bunch of times rather than, just so you can internalize it, so you can hear the changes and just get used to hearing it. Otherwise, this transcription isn't going to make an awful lot of sense. We're into the next chorus, so we're into the next time around the 12-bar blues. And then I play 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So kind of traditional Stevie Ray, Albert King inspired blues lick. We're kind of, it's all really kind of minor pentatonic. Apart from I'm bending up on the 12th fret half a step after the whole step bend. And then going back to the to the E note, which is the major third of the C7 chord. And then I'll play the next lick. Again, another kind of traditional blues lick. Very similar. And then we play the second of our diminished half-whole licks. Now, these licks are a good place to play these licks. I don't mean a geographical location. I mean a good place in a 12-bar progression to play these half-whole licks would be on bar 4 when you go from when you're transitioning from the 1 chord into the 4 chord. Creates a lot of tension. So that's exactly where I'm playing them in this solo. So that last note, we'll call that the first note of the next lick, but it's important to include it so we know where it finishes, because we're actually landing on the again we're approaching the 4 chord in this part of the solo, so we're targeting the major third. I'm targeting a lot of chord tones in this solo. I'll play that one more time slowly. 3, 4, and then we're on the 4 chord and we play 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So again, it's another kind of chromatic. A lot of chromatic enclosures surrounding this F7 arpeggio. One more time slowly. So coming out of that diminished lick, yeah, we're landing on that major third, on that A natural. Oh. That would be the full lick. And then I'm kind of stuck on this flat 7 of the 4 chord. I play this lick, and that's me just kind of filling in for time, just playing something syncopated and rhythmic and simple just between 2 notes. Or 3 notes, really. And then at that point in the progression, we land on the 1 chord, back to this C7. So I'm playing, so the flat 3 to the major third, and then the root, slide down to the flat 7. So, and then, so that's very similar to the opening lick, just in a different position, because I'm down here on the neck. So it's always good wherever you learn a lick on the fretboard. It's good to learn that lick or that phrase in as many different positions as possible. So you don't have just one place on the fretboard to play a lick, and that's what I'm doing there. So bending the flat 3 to the major, playing the flat 3 to the major third, to the 5th, to the major 6th, and bending out to the flat 7. The next lick starts kind of before the bar, so I kind of anticipate the bar, and it's one of those legato licks that it's going to be really difficult to transcribe. I haven't transcribed this solo yet, but I will. It's going to be really difficult to transcribe because it's one of those, it's a case of flooring it really, you know, playing it as fast as you can and hoping for the best. But in context, I've got this 1, 2, 3. So the core of that lick is actually based around the C blues scale, and I really like the sound of this. It kind of puts me in mind of kind of synth players, people like Jan Hammer with the old you know, kind of pitch wheel, playing these kind of really fast kind of synth lines. But it is it's in the blues scale. So is it a blues lick? Is it not a blues lick? Who knows? Certainly not a traditional blues lick. But we're going from the 5th. Not 5th fret. I'm talking about intervals here rather than fret numbers. So the 5th to the flat 7, pull off to the 5th, slide down 1 fret to the flat 5, and then the 5, and then the flat 5. And you literally just pick it once. It's like that kind of Newton's cradle thing where you pick it once just to start the momentum, and you know, let the fingers do the work. You might want to mute the adjacent strings. I mute the adjacent strings. I mute the G string with the pick, and I mute the high E string with my middle finger. I was going to show you my middle finger, but I'm just playing that as fast as I can and hoping for the best. So I go 1, 2, 3. I think I started on the 4 of the previous bar. 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, and then on the 3 of the next bar. So I'll play it for a whole bar. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. And on the 3 of that next bar, I'm actually playing this over the 5 chord and then the 4 chord. I actually hit this double stop, this kind of T-Bone Walker, Chuck Berry stop, where you've got the major 6th and the flat 3, and you just kind of tease them slightly sharp. It's just a way of coming out of that lick. And then just a traditional blues lick there. And then to top it off, I'm playing this figure. Which is, again, is kind of getting mileage out of the opening lick, really. It's kind of a reference to the opening lick. Same thing, but just all the way up here. And I think by accident on the solo, I played, I actually played a flat 5 there before going back to natural 5. I actually meant to play. There's a lot of this sliding. And then so that lick is you know, repeating. And then we just finish on the root note, and that's the whole solo. I'm going to play it slowly from the start. 1, 2, 3. That bend was a bit out, but this is going to be hard to play slowly. I'm going to lose the beat. I mean, I know that wasn't considerably slower than the original tempo, but let's not forget YouTube has got a very handy slowdown function. And, you know, I encourage you to listen to the solo a bunch of times if you want to internalize each lick. I will include, as I say, a link to the tab and the guitar profile and the backing track. So I hope you enjoyed that lesson. Let me know. Here comes Bouncer. Hello, Bouncer. This is Bouncer, by the way. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this lesson, and if you have any suggestions for future lessons. Incidentally, if you're looking for a more traditional blues guitar website, so not kind of blues fusion, but kind of traditional electric blues, then check out my website, which is absolutebluesguitar.com. Cheers, guys. See you soon. Bye.